So, hello to everyone, and today we'll be looking through how to draw a maxillary central incisor. These are the main properties that you can basically apply to any of the anterior group teeth when you're drawing them from the vestibular or labial side, either way you do it. In general, you can do this even more detailed, but this is sort of I find this method the most practical. A more detailed version would be if you calculate the difference between natural central incisors with the height of it, and then apply that ratio when you draw this box. But for all purposes for today, we're just going to start with a simple rectangle box that is the height is larger than the width, approximately a bit more than maybe a ratio about 0.8. So first we draw our box, and as well you can see here on the side main properties. I suggest if you're just beginning in drawing your teeth, this helps a lot. You write down the main properties on the side, and when you do your drawing, you should always check whether or not all of these points can be seen on your drawing. So, first off, let's draw the box. Second, I already drew a midline through or a central line through the box, and that's going to help us a lot when we're constructing our tooth. Second, we're going to divide our tooth into 3/3. So this is 12 centimeters in height. It's going to approximately at 4 and at 8. And this is, you don't have to be uber precise, but for today's purposes, I'm just going to maybe add those lines a bit better so they can be better seen on the camera as well. So now we have split it up our box into thirds, and we can start drawing our tooth. We can start either with the apical part or with the incisal third. Before I start, I usually also add some markers for me as well. First off, I add the mesial contact point that is close to the edge. It's pointed here, and this is our incisal third. So our contact point could be around here maybe. And I know that on the distal side, the contact point with the lateral incisor is also in the incisal third, but it's located lower. So maybe around here perhaps. In the center, the height of contour is located on the midline here, and it's a semicircle. So basically what we can do is start drawing our tooth. The mesial side, now it's going to go focus on the mesial side, is a lot more straight, less convex than the distal side. Of course, when you're doing your drawing, you can use this maybe as an example, or you can have another example right next to you on your computer screen that you look at and then do your drawing. And also, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I have an eraser here with me. I'm probably going to make a few, and then I'm going to erase them and redraw the drawing. That's part of the learning process. The more you do this, the easier it's going to be next time. So, let's continue our rather straight mesial line. And the edge is almost 90 degrees. You can step up. I tend to step a bit out of my box here in the center, but it's like it's a bad habit, I know, but And sometimes it's just a bit, doesn't change it, change too much. So, and I'm gonna also, for the incisal third, I'm gonna add a bit of the downward slope. So I'm gonna put my incisal edge a bit lower. So when I draw approximately like this. And also, maybe I could have added even one more point. The distal edge is a lot more rounded than the mesial one. So I think we did pretty good on the first try. Actually, it looks like I didn't make any mistakes. It looks good for me. I don't know what you guys think. Hopefully you think that as well. So anyway, when you're taking a drawing, and for example, when you draw a line that you didn't want it to draw, for example, I drew this like way too, like for example here, and you look at it and you don't like it, what you should do, you shouldn't erase this line immediately. First off, you should draw the correct line and only then erase the one that's wrong. It's sort of this is a technique that's taught in art schools. I can't remember why, but it's actually more helpful this way, because then you won't automatically draw the same line in the same place again. And also, you can, at the same time, you can look at both lines and compare them. So basically, we did our drawing. What else we can add? We can add the line angles. They could be drawn as a simple lines. Maybe we can draw one angle here. This part, this side is less visible. Also, the anterior teeth, the incisors specifically, when they are young, the teeth have mammelons. If I wanted to draw mammelons for this tooth, they would probably look, I'm gonna dot them in, maybe they would, the incisal edge would look like this perhaps. But it's just how the teeth look when they erupt. But for our main drawing, what we also can add is the impressions in the sort of macroanatomy in the central part of the tooth. We can draw them like depressions like this. Simple semicircle lines. These are not mandatory lines. The simple outline is what tells the story. Also, we can add maybe a bit of the cervical grooves that almost always tend to be there. So this is it. This is our central incisor. When you're finishing your drawing, if only the tooth itself is required, you should delete all the construction lines, but you should, my personal choice is, you should always leave the midline. It sort of helps. It also, when you're drawing a lot of teeth right next to each other, it helps to understand where the axis of the tooth is. It's either straight, or for a lateral incisor, it's going to be a bit more in a sort of an angle, and things like that. Also, difference between this tooth and a lateral incisor would be, if I would draw a lateral incisor, I would draw this box narrower. That's one thing, and also the distal part would be even more rounded, and this line would go even more inwards. So, but I'm going to keep this video short. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and good luck on drawing.